What is up, everybody? Welcome to the feast, episode 91. There it goes. Worrying me with that black screen for a second there. How's it going, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. I can't complain. It's Friday night, so obviously in a good mood. We've got a couple tournaments coming up this weekend. If you guys have not heard already, check out the Tooth and Tail's events section underneath the stream you're watching right now. There is the leader nomination tournament number 1, which is going to be tomorrow at noon. Hosted here by myself and probably AV Ultima co-casting as well. And then on Sunday, over on Woody Pun 7's channel, he'll be hosting the leader nomination tournament number 2 for the 21 Generals tournaments overall. So definitely check that out. Sign up for that event if you're interested. It's going to be a lot of fun. We just went over the 21 Generals rules pretty recently. You can check that out in my most recent VOD, where the gentleman and I kind of took, I think, like an hour and a half and just went through the rules and explained it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're active in Tooth and Tail or been thinking about wanting to play more lately, definitely check out the 21 Generals tournament. You can sign up for a mercenary if you want like less responsibility compared to some of the other roles. But yeah, what's up, awkward fish guy? Good to see you too, man. It has been a while. I'm trying to get out and do the streaming a little more, make at least a little bit of content every week for this wonderful game. So tonight we just have the regular old feast here. I decided for the ending we'll do the best of 5 of the Pocketbot Cup finals. I thought that might be kind of cool to implement in. We could basically do that like every week because the Pocketbot happens every week. There's actually multiple Pocketbot Cups a week, so there you go. Plenty of content there. But without further ado, I think we'll just hop into match number 1 here. Okay, spawning in the bottom, we've got Bratmo. And his opponent up top, Vincent. Okay, I like this already. Woof, an artillery verse, 3 tier 3 in mines. Let's go. Bratmo actually only has Squirrel Pigeon as like quote-unquote real units here, you know what I mean? Sure, he's got the mines that could help if they're placed well in some engagements, but he's really relying on squirrels to basically get him all the way to one of those big juicy tier 3 units, which is really cool. Meanwhile, Vincent is saying, screw squirrels, man, I don't need them, which playing a deck without squirrels is very, very wonky and crazy. So let's see how this winds up. I wonder if Vincent maybe wants to open up with a bit of like snake harassment. Maybe he'd open up with the ferrets if the map really allowed for it. But I guess what Vincent really wants to do is find a nice position for a little bit of a proxy artillery cannon, if I had to guess, and then maybe back that up with some Wolf Falcon in the late game. Do a little bit of a mole rush here. Has Bratmo scouted it out? I don't think so, because I think last time he went to scout, everything looked normal. Maybe at that point, yeah, you should have had that additional pig. But if you're Bratmo, there should be a little bit of a signal something weird's happening. However, he's already got, 2 tier 1 warrants here, so he's basically fine. Here come the moles. Let's see if Bratmo's in position. No, Bratmo's still trying to scout around, so the moles might actually do something, but it's only one mole that got rallied over. So all that mole did was let Bratmo know that there are moles, so didn't work out too well here for Vincent. He's going to try to run. Oh no, his commander goes down. Okay, Bratmo didn't go kill the mole warrants, but that could have been real bad. Well, 6 moles, or I'm sorry, like 8 or 9 moles versus 6 squirrels. Maybe the moles would end up winning that. Bratmo looks ready for something. Not sure where it's coming from yet. I think Vincent, this is crazy. Like, Vincent's got to find an angle to get. I'd like to see him get it like up here and then just trigger those moles to come in. But it looks like Bratmo is just trying to keep his commander from really being able to get over there effectively. Well, couple mines coming down. And these moles just sitting here, just chilling. Yeah, it looks like Vincent just kind of gave up on him, and Bratmo never found him. Huh. Meanwhile, this boar warren has finished. The boar has started. This is a crazy game. Alright, Bratmo applying a little bit of pressure. He's got some mines to run back to if he needs to. Alright, here's Vincent coming in. Now the moles come in. I feel like Bratmo should have known about these moles earlier, because the one did come in and like trigger, you're under attack, and he's just gonna go for the base snipe here. Vincent is a madman. So Bratmo would have basically just lost the game, but he's still got this campfire. He's gonna try to YOLO on top of that, but I don't think he's got enough moles left. Oh man, it was close. I was gonna say I don't agree with that, but you know, now I can totally see why Vincent decided to do that, because that was almost GG right there. Come in, sell these moles, get out. I gotta blame Bratmo for that one, because the one mole did come in and trigger the damage on the pig, so Bratmo should have known he was under attack from something. Maybe he just thought it was like a lizard. I'm not sure. Here comes Bratmo with the boar. He's got to make it happen right here, right now. He's so behind on economy, but he's got a very powerful army. The snakes, however, gonna try to stack that poison, but the pigeons do a really good job kind of countering the snake poison. And this boar is just slamming through, murdering all the warrens. It is gonna eventually drop to this poison, but did it do enough damage? I don't know. Vincent doesn't have a whole lot left, but he does have these snakes. Yeah, Bratmo started to retreat. Oh, okay, this game's in a really weird spot now. But I think I still like it better for Vincent, because really he just needs to build some moles and push in there, and he should be fine. Yeah, Bratmo's gonna sell that boar. Almost had it with the boar, but not quite there. And Vincent with the snakes was a good response to the boar. He did scout that boar out. Gonna do some minesweeping, and Bratmo's open. Let's see if Vincent's just gonna get in there and get this cabin, or campfire rather. Yeah, he's going for it, and that's probably, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm totally blind. He's got another base down here. But here come the moles. I think this is it. I think this is where Vincent takes the game. Let's see. Let's see if Bratmo can hold on. Ooh, that one snake getting really low. One snake does go down. But there's just an overwhelming number of moles to back these snakes up here. And the last warrants for Bratmo will go down. What a crazy match to start things out with here. Bam, GG. Okay, let's hop into match number 2. Spawning in the top left, we've got a Gustavam. And his opponent to the right, Citron. Okay, pretty decent looking decks from both sides, I think. Nothing super crazy here. The map is pretty nice, I guess. It's a little bit awkward for Citron to get out here and get a second base, but once he does, he'll start gaining a lot of territory on the map, or a lot of map presence with it. And kind of split this down here. This is kind of crazy. Like, this maybe could turn into a macro game, but I don't know. It's a really weird map. It's kind of awkward for either player to really expand here, because imagine Citron takes any of these bases, you just kind of feel out in the open. You feel really close to your opponent's main base. I mean, their territories are clashing at this point. Very, very tiny maps, so I'd actually be surprised if we see this go into a macro game. As weird as that might sound, because there's so many gristmills here, it's just so short. It seemed like it'd be very easy here to do some kind of like tier 2 timing attack, maybe with some snakes or chameleons. Ugusa is going to go for a straight up 8 farm gristmill though. And Citron looking like he's going to go for the double. No, just the 8 farm. Tier 1 into tier 2 is what it looks like. Let's see, gonna go for the skunk. So the skunk over the snake here, to me, feels like Citron wants to build up a little bit of a larger army. With the snake, you can get away with, you know, basically sending them in there solo bolo and poking and prodding and getting some damage done. But the skunk does need some supporting units, so maybe Citron's thinking about doing some kind of one base timing attack. or perhaps just trying to be really safe into an expo. But I don't think you typically don't get like a tier 2 before expansion, unless you're planning an attack, right? Like if I'm gonna go for a quick expand, I'm typically gonna build maybe 1 or 2 warrens into a gristmill, into a few more warrens, kind of stay on tier 1 for a little while I build up a farm count, and that's typically a little safer. So yeah, Citron's just gonna utilize these skunks to buffer a little bit of map space for himself. It looks like he does want to expand, but this actually makes sense to me to build. Okay, never mind. He is going into for an attack. Let's see how committed he wants to go. Changing his mind, perhaps? No, just wants to throw down another warren. Yeah, it looks like he's positioning himself for this expansion. Yeah, is what I was getting at earlier. And getting the skunks first does make sense here because this expansion is a little bit awkward to get to from his main base. And actually going to fake it here. Let's see if he's going to build some moles. Here come the moles. Augusta. See if he can hold on. He does have chameleons. Alright, this looks very all-in from Citron. He's going to do another scout about. Has he seen the expansion? He hasn't. But I think once he does, it's really going to solidify this decision to attack, perhaps? Or, no, it looks like he's changing his mind again. So a little bit of indecision here. And I like Augusta's position, I guess, since he does have the expansion base up. Big attack coming forward, but Augusta is going to retreat back to the comfort of his warrens, but he's retreating a little bit too much. Wanted to try to play around that skunk gas, but losing a lot of free tier 1 in the process. One of the warrens go down as well. Here come the chameleons to join the fight, but so many moles are really helping Citron deal with those in the front line. Those chameleons really just got bopped there without getting a whole lot done. Citron absolutely crushing that engagement, but trying to take it slow, try to be safe here, not overcommitting. I'd love to see him just throw those units in the water for the healing, but gonna bring him back, yeah, into his territory. Now gonna put him in the water, get that extra healing going on. And let's see it. I feel like Citron has a pretty good chance in the game right here, but did he ever scout that second base? No, he still hasn't. That might be Augustavan's lifeline into this game, back into this game rather, but he's gonna have to defend this attack right here, right now, before that even matters. The chameleons getting on the squirrels and avoiding the moles this time, dealing a bit more damage. One of the skunks goes down, but there's just so many forces here from Citron. He won that first fight very well. He didn't invest into any additional farms, so just a lot of money into this tier 1. Ooh, trying to get that warren, maybe overstaying his welcome a little bit. Augustavan picking up some units on the retreat. Puts him back in it a bit, and the 5-minute mark did pass, so Augustavan's sitting on the better economy here. It looks like 2 of those farms that went down for Augusta were about to go down anyways to the 5-minute mark, so that's kind of nice. But he did lose a few warrens there, which is a big deal. The moles just seem to be doing really good against the chameleons in these engagements. But Citron still doesn't know about this hidden base. So this might be the way for Augusta to come back into this. Augusta is getting a little bit bold here, trying to secure this high ground, throw down a couple mines. But I don't think he's got the better army at the moment. I feel like if we had another engagement, Citron would take it. That squirrel mole skunk composition is just very strong. This game was cast in the past, I think, says Paolon. Yeah, it does look familiar. It actually kind of dawned on me right before you said something. I was like, have we seen this before? Maybe. We might have. Maybe it got submitted twice. It's alright, though. So many games. Every now and then it slips up and we get a repeat, but we may have seen this. This does feel familiar. I think this gets like crazy scrappy. if this is the game I'm thinking of. Alright, Chameleon's trying to defend again, as Citron, that skunk gas is really killing it. Now Citron has found this base. Yeah, I do feel like I have casted this before. Sorry about that, guys. So I think it gets like crazy scrappy here, if I recall. Citron moving in with the skunk gas, but that last skunk does go down. It barely had any HP left. And now Augusta is starving. I think he needs to sell his chameleons. He either needs to sell the chameleons or the squirrels. It's kind of hard to, like, most tier 2, I would say sell it and get the squirrels, but chameleons actually shine in this kind of position. Yeah, I think Augusta actually ends up winning this with the chameleons. Yeah, this is the situations where these chameleons just wreck, and you're able to just re-stealth so easily. Get in, get out, deal some damage. Augusta's got 10 seconds, but he does have 60 food, so gets that farm down just in time, but is only going to have these 2 chameleons and 3 squirrels to work with for quite a little while. Meanwhile, Citron doesn't have much of an army either. And this just constant chameleon harassment is the way to go. You know, sneak those chameleons in, take out a warren, take out a squirrel or 2. Trying to find the right angle. This chameleon harassment can be really difficult to deal with. You know, it looked like Citron was even prepared for it there, but just could not stop those chameleons from sniping that pig. Nice mine hit there. Not too impactful though. It was actually decent for Citron, as all the units will get home scot-free. One farm versus one farm here. Hero chameleons trying to get it done. Citron are in a nice position to defend. Let's see. This is kind of awkward. Augusta's just looking for any damage that he can get done. But Citron knows it. Citron's going to try to defend this bacon as best as possible. Ooh, one chameleon does go down there, but the pig was taken out, so probably a trade Augustavon's happy with. Catching these squirrels, though, is a big deal for Citron. Citron's got 40 seconds left and has got the better army. Gonna try to rush in and win the game. Yeah, yep. And then Augusta just says, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to defend this. And Citron is gonna win the base race. Yeah, really crazy game. All right. Let's keep it moving and hop into this guy versus Big Pimpintosh. Spawning on the left, we have this guy, and his opponent to the right, Big Pimpintosh. This guy with the barbed wire, that's pretty interesting. Going a little bit out of his element here. He doesn't have his typical squirrel, mole, pigeon, skunk. Instead, he's got the lizards. But he still has the most of his roots. That squirrel, pigeon, skunk style is still going to be coming out here from this guy. Meanwhile, Big Pimpintosh is being a little crazy. No tier 2 at all. And artillery cannon plus mines, which is nuts. And let's see how this plays out. 8 farm opening for both sides. And Just gonna have to give it a couple minutes. This map actually has a lot of potential, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of a mid-size map to me. You know, not super far rush distances, but not, you know, very, very crazy close distances either. This could easily go into a macro game. Both players have plenty of access. This definitely would be better for Tosh in the super, super late game if we did happen to go that route, but I'm not sure what Tosh's deck composition really, to me, feels like a one-base strat. You know? I mean, yeah, you can get up the artillery cannon, but what is he going to pump into a big economy? I guess multiple Badgers would be the play. Meanwhile, this guy just opening pretty standard, you know, 8 farm, 2 tier 1 into Skunk Warren. Tosh is just doing crazy nonsense. I love it. This guy did see... No, oh yeah, no, he knows the artillery's coming. He's going to try to get here in time to stop this thing from getting up. Artillery is a little bit of a meme-y unit, but if you can actually get away with it, it is crazy powerful. And those mines really helped Tosh defend this guy, and it looks like, yeah, the artillery is going to come up here. And this guy's got to be scratching his head now. I mean, luckily for him, this artillery cannon, this map isn't, you know, super closed in for Tosh's main. And this guy does have, like, lizards and stuff, so he could try to, like, rush around, you know, this side with a bunch of lizards, perhaps. But looks like what he wants to do is go for that boar. This guy pressing forward. So many mines. This is an absolute crazy game from Tosh. I love it. Yeah, here come the lizards trying to find something. The artillery cannon has such a crazy range if you have the vision for it. You know, and taking these fights is just not going to turn out well for this guy. However, once he gets that boar, the boar will slam through that artillery cannon pretty fast. You know, it deals that extra bonus damage to structures. It's got plenty of HP, so the artillery cannon's not just going to delete it. And the boar can also help deal with the reinforcing tier 1 here. Double boar going down. Maybe this guy thinking 1 is not going to be enough. And I don't think Tosh knows about it yet, does he? No. He actually scouted a tier 2, which was a bait and switch here by this guy. Gonna come in and see the double boar and kind of chuckle to himself. Be like, oh, it's that kind of party, huh? Let's see what Tosh wants to do. Throwing down his Badger. I don't think the Badger's going to be out in time. It depends on if this guy rolls out like right when he can, or if he waits a minute. You know, these boars from this guy are just way ahead of the Badger here. And let's see, it looks like things are kind of calming down a bit. And what is this game? So many mines out on the board. And they're helping give this artillery cannon an additional range as well. You know, being able to see all those mines. Here comes board number 1. What does Tosh have to defend against this? He's trying to get out this Badger. Can't take this fight with the squirrels. The boar is just going to roast through all that. But the boar is still not, like, super close to this arty. It's going to put some pressure on this Gristmill, force the units up from Tosh, and Tosh is going to suffer some heavy losses there. Gonna eventually get this Gristmill, just taking his time. Yeah, this is working very nicely for this guy so far. Gristmill eventually goes down. Board number 2 moving forward. Alright, Tosh has the Badger now, but he's suffered quite a bit of damage. Now, this guy didn't ever take a second base, so it's not like Tosh is really behind economically. Oh, but the lizards, that's actually really smart. The lizards should do well against the badger. But he needs these boars to clear the way against these squirrels. This is really going to come down to the micro here. The badger trying to get that rev up, finally does. Baiting these boars all the way back to the artillery. And eventually this badger... Oh my gosh, the badger kills both the boars with like 6 HP left. That was insane. Just running circles around him. Both players are starving with the exact same starvation counter. Scrambling, but this looks good for Tosh. I would sell the artillery. I would build a couple farms and press in with the badger, right? But he does have to be careful. Actually, if he did that, he might just lose to the lizard counterattack here. This is really smart from this guy. It's always a nice last-ditch effort play if you do have the lizards in your deck. Just build a whole bunch of them and try to end the game with them. Going for the big surround with the lizards, but I think with the help of the artillery cannon here, it's not going to work. This guy taps out, and Tosh takes the match with badger artillery. That's insane. Give me a very, very quick break, guys. I will be back in just a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I am back. Whoops. Okay. Alright, let's go into game number 4 here. Spawning on the right, we have the gentleman. And his opponent up top, QQ. Okay, so no tier 3 from the gent here. I'm still kind of scratching my head with these types of builds. It feels like the gentleman actually has a lot of flexibility. He can open up with the snake, which can be very annoying. You know, get in there and harass constantly. Can really punish your opponents if they don't have any units that can easily deal with that, like lizards or maybe pigeons to help kind of counteract the poison. Or it's kind of map dependent opening too. You know, to get in, poke a little bit, maybe try to snipe a warren with the snakes. Or the gentleman can opt for that this guy style, like squirrel, mole, pigeon, skunk push. And the falcons here give him some scalability into the late game. And on the other side of the board, I like QQ's deck. I'm interested how the ferrets work out for him here. I'm always trying to get those ferrets to work well. And also taking that owl, so... you know, if the game gets long enough, I think I like this better for QQ, because that ferret, falcon, owl comp is going to be pretty strong later on. Ooh. A little bit of crazy mole warrens here from the gent. And unfortunately for QQ, tries to take this base that he thinks is a pocket base, which it is, but that mole warren from the gentleman, like right before that base went down. Very, very good timing here for gent. Gonna take his own Gristmill. I like this opening a lot. Just the 8 farm, 1 tier 1 into a Gristmill. Normally you build like another tier 1. Very, very greedy opening from the gent. And I don't blame him. This map is really big and really awkward. I wouldn't be too worried about an attack coming in anytime soon. It's gonna be easier to defend than it is to get in here. Oh, did QQ actually scout it? He did, so I think gentleman waited a little bit too long. He could have rushed in with this mole attack a bit earlier when he just had 1 mole, which probably wouldn't have worked, but maybe it could have, you know, started to DPS this Gristmill down in time. And the gent's just gonna have to let that go, unfortunately. Gonna try to make it over here in time, but losing a lot of food there. What was that 120 food? I think maybe he killed a squirrel, probably not. I think he got like 1 squirrel. but Gent's not crazy far behind. He did get this 2-base economy up and running pretty quickly, so that'll probably help against that. And here come the ferrets from QQ. I'm curious how the gentleman's going to defend this. He doesn't really have an army that can really contest these ferrets. I guess he thinks just the squirrels will be able to do it. The toads coming in as well, but this is that awkward attack path on this map I was talking about. Like, the units just naturally want to clump up on these bridges, which is going to make it very nice for the toads. And this is a nice little composition here from QQ. The ferrets just force the gentleman to hard engage, and, you know, sometimes you gotta be careful what you wish for. Nice micro, though, from QQ. Keeps the ferrets alive, and the ferrets are actually doing a lot of damage here, picking up several tier 1 on the chase. Good toad connect. And yeah, QQ is doing pretty well. As long as he keeps these ferrets alive and keeps kind of picking up a squirrel every now and then with them. Like, he's killed several squirrels with these ferrets. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that attack. I think that did very well. Now keep in mind the gentleman didn't have tier 2. You know, he had this very heavy tier 1 style. But I think this bridge, or yeah, the bridge here might be helping the ferret player. Let's see if he continues to try to poke in. No, he's just going to try to eco up really hard off the back of that little aggression there. So yeah, so far I like this for QQ. The gent has decided, you know what, I'm going to get up tier 2. Going to get up the snakes and try to apply his own poking here. Going to get in his scout, try to look for what the army comp is. I'm going to take a look at this second base. He's probably not going to be happy with how saturated that is. It puts the gentleman in a little bit of an awkward spot. He's either got to get some damage done, or he's got to come home and just go crazy on his own farms. Decides to do that and just say, you know what, my opponent might be a little bit ahead of me in eco, but I'll catch up eventually. Hopefully it won't be too big of a deal. But the gentleman is out of position right now, trying to take a third base in the south. As the ferrets move forward, they're just going to get a whole lot of value here, as Gent is not home to micro his units. Only one squirrel goes down. Actually, yeah, only one squirrel goes down, which is a lot better than it could have been. These pigeons here really helping out against those snakes. And now the gent can finally take this third base. So we got a little bit of a macro game on our hands, it looks like. QQ's got to find a third base somewhere, most likely here. How do you even get to that base? That's so crazy. Look at the map. I guess there's a little spot right here, but mainly it's just from QQ's base, and then there's also this forest trail in the south, kind of connecting both thirds. And it looks like the gentleman wants to utilize this little forest trail here to try to catch QQ in a spot where gentleman's got a better army positioning. I wonder why he's rallying everything. Yeah, he must be wanting to come through here. Yeah, there he goes. Oh, uh-oh. Looks like 2 ships passing in the night here. Oh, I was wondering how QQ knew where Gent's army was, but he saw that squirrel being rallied over. And the Gent's going to come in and try to start getting the damage done before QQ can even come home to defend. Gonna pick up that gristmill, but that's not a very big deal, as it is no longer mining. Actually doesn't get it. The poison stops. Instead gonna pick up the more valuable base, but now his army is stuck. Like, yeah, he's gonna completely annihilate QQ's eco here, but he's got to win this fight. There's no retreating, there's no getting out, and QQ is just going to slam through this engagement. Meanwhile, a lot of the other units of the gentleman are just kind of rallying over, but the gentleman moves through with some moles and finishes off that gristmill that he weakened earlier on. That is awesome. Well played there by the gentleman, sneaking that win out. Okay, let's keep it rolling with match number 5. If it'll load. There we go. Had to think about this one. In the bottom, we've got Ziggy. Over on the right, we've got the gentleman. Up top, we've got this guy. And to the left, we've got Big Pimpintosh. In a free-for-all, four-way matcheroni here. Really big map. Alright, who's got the best spawn? I want to say maybe Ziggy? And these three Gristmills are kind of spread out, but well, the gent spawn's not bad either. Like, you could basically say Gent's probably got 3 Gristmills here. Ziggy's got like 3 Gristmills. Tosh kind of awkwardly also has 3 Gristmills, I guess. It's going to be a little difficult to get over this way. And this guy also has 3 Gristmills there with like 1 in the middle. So actually kind of an even spawn here as far as free-for-all goes. I mean, you could probably really nitpick the terrain of the map. Some of these high grounds and ramps are a little bit wonky and awkward, but overall, no player just kind of got screwed, you know, where it's like, oh, I've got no Gristmills around me and all my opponents do. So all players here have relatively decent access to a couple extra bases. Any strategy should be available to them. And Tosh is just starting off with a ton of mines. That is interesting. Okay, what do we got this guy doing? Just playing pretty standard stuff, you know? Building up some tier 1, trying to take an expansion. Makes sense. A little bit of a similar opening here from Gent. Gonna opt for the lizards. I like that a lot. That'll help you kind of run around and not take direct engagements, but still try to deal damage to your opponents. Free-for-alls are kind of weird because most of the time the person that kind of sits back and isn't, you know, directly in big engagements, you know, if everybody else is murdering each other, losing a whole bunch of food, and you're just hanging back building this enormous army, then on paper you should eventually win. We don't see that always being the case, though. I have seen matches where that does not apply. These second bases are very close to each other. I think that's got to be concerning to both players. I wonder if the gentleman and this guy are going to start getting into some scruffles pretty quickly. Looks like it. The gentleman going to come in and grab this Gristmill. Nice play here. This is undefended by this guy. This guy's just got all his units at home defending the main. Meanwhile, what's Ziggy up to? Ziggy's actually going super crazy on eco. Already got a second base, almost saturated. Yeah, I like the I think the gentleman's plan is smart, but I'm a big fan of Tosh. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I love it. A whole bunch of mines, a wolf on the way, starting that second base. This guy just building up some standard tier 1, trying to get that powerhouse economy going. So, oh, I missed a little bit of a fight down here. The gentleman trying to get something done with these lizards, but caught by Ziggy. Looks like Ziggy took that engagement rather handedly. Gotta be happy about that. Got the balloon up. I actually kind of like defense in free-for-all because if you can use defense to just dissuade your opponent from attacking into you, that can be enormous. You know, especially more so than in a 1v1 situation. Because if I'm red, I might come down here and say, oh, he's got a balloon. I'm gonna leave him alone and attack blue instead, you know. Gentlemen, still going nuts with the lizards here. Gonna go full lizard comp and maybe try to transition into owl later on. Falcon, owl, skunk, I think is one of the best late game comps. So it's nice to kind of have in the pocket. Meanwhile, mines are also... Oh, nice attempt here from Ziggy. Looks like he tried to rally those falcons over. But the gentleman's gonna catch this balloon undefended, get in, and try to get out, but those mines slowing down his units, really helping Ziggy chase him down and get a whole lot of kills. So definitely wasn't for free. Nice attempt there by the gent, but Ziggy was close enough with his commander and had a good reaction time there. This guy. That's what I'm talking about. This guy is saying, never attack me ever. But what is he going to do? Like, wolf lizard? I don't even think that works. Like, the lizards would just be so fast. They'd leave that wolf in the dust. This is a crazy match already. Ziggy's still just trying to get some harassment with these falcons done. Really nice. Oh, what would be super annoying is if Ziggy was able to get a balloon up, like, right here on the edge. I think, yeah, he's thinking about it now. I would put it even closer. But he needs to make sure he can actually take it down. Yeah, you might need to move his units over. Like, if he rallied his army down there to help defend it. That is mean. Meanwhile, the gentleman is not leaving Ziggy alone. Looking for some blood. Gonna grab that balloon for free, come in, and decide not to take the big engagement. Run away. Got owl number 1 coming in. This guy. I would love to see like 1 falcon come in and murder all that. 6 artillery, right in the same spot. Big engagement over here in the bottom right. As Ziggy is tired of the gentleman's shenanigan, moves in with an army that's just slaughters the lizard-based army of his opponent. The chameleons on the front lines doing really well against the lizards. The falcons in the air, dealing all that extra deeps from the back. And that's a pretty crippling blow to the gentleman. Lost a lot of units there, lost his 3rd base. He's still fine, like he's still got a nice economy going, building up several lizards. Once he gets the owl out, he'll be able to start poking and prodding, but really 1 owl is not anything to write home about. They start getting crazy once you get a few of them up. And gentleman cannot take this engagement. I mean, Ziggy's got like a proper army at this point. And the gent is just sitting on a bunch of lizards and an owl. And Ziggy's gonna hard engage. Getting a lot of damage in here. This might be all she wrote for the gent. I mean, this is a pretty scary army. He doesn't really have anything of note to his name. Just gonna target fire down that 2nd base. Still has plenty of units here. The wolf buff on the falcons is absolutely huge. Oh, wait, what? Oh my gosh, I totally missed it as Tosh came in from the back and just wrecked Ziggy. Oh my god, it deleted him from the game. Are you serious? I wish I could rewind. That is so funny. That is so lucky for the gentleman. I mean, he was about to eliminate the gentleman, and Tosh knocked out this last gristmill because the gentleman came in earlier with the lizards and knocked this out. That was insane. Sorry, my camera work wasn't perfect there, but that's so funny. Like, 1 or 2 more seconds and the gentleman would have been dead. And now Tosh has built this crazy army. You know, Wolf, Badger, Owl got it up on the back of building a bunch of mines and just trying to eco like crazy. Meanwhile, this guy, I don't think he's gonna die, but I'm not sure how he's gonna win. I mean, look at this. This is all, he's almost doing like Tooth and Tail artwork over here. He should just go straight artillery. He's got so much money. What is he gonna do? The gentleman bobbing and weaving, trying to stay in the game. God, that's insane. So many arties. The gentleman somehow wins this, that'd be hilarious. He's trying to just run around and be annoying here. He's got 9 lizards. It's definitely enough to be a threat. You know, he's gonna knock out this gristmill. He's gonna force Tosh to come defend his 6 o'clock expansions. Otherwise, those 9 lizards will take all that out. But what is gonna happen here? I'd like to see this guy just build an insane amount of moles or something. Like 150 moles. So much firepower. So much wasted ammo. Oh, these mines! You're just wrecking those lizards. And here come the mice. But eventually these mice, you know, once you start getting up to a good number of owls, he's got 2 with a 3rd on the way. You know, these mice are gonna add up over time. That's just insane. Oh, and he's got the wolf there buffing them all too. That is hilarious. I mean, what do at this point? Tosh didn't move those tier... No, he didn't actually. I thought he moved those over. Those tier 3 Warrens are in a pretty dangerous spot. Once Gentleman realizes... Has Gent seen that stuff? No, he actually doesn't even know that Tosh took over that bottom area. Nice mole attack here from this guy. All of that is gonna go down here shortly. Look at this. Just look at this. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What even is this? Alright, the mole's trying to come in and deal with everything, but Tosh caught it in time, brings down the Badgers to gun him down. This guy with the double bluff here. The Gent trying to be annoying. Only 3 lizards now. And Tosh just death by a million paper cuts in the background. Is he gonna go for it? I don't think he can. I don't think he can go for it. Like, you're not doing it. It's not gonna happen. Look at this. Look at this, Tosh. It's crazy. Meanwhile, the mole's in the background, knocking out the real estate here for Tosh. But I still feel like Tosh has a chance in this game. I mean, on paper, these owls should eventually, outvalue the opponent. But he's got this guy and the gentleman in the corner just kind of nipping at his heels. Gent slowly rebuilding up enough lizards to be annoying, as Tosh is going to try to come in through the north and try to find a way to push through here without taking too much damage by the artillery. Meanwhile, this guy just gonna go for that base race scenario and start busting down the expansions. Those buffed up Badgers are just shooting so damn fast. This guy gonna lose all of his army here. This is insane. This is insane. Can Tosh get close enough? The wolf went down. Oh, he's moving in. Trying to bob and weave and dodge some of these hits. One of those Badgers goes down. The other one... So close, but the healing gets back on it. It stays alive. Meanwhile, the gentleman just slowly rebuilding. Dude, the Gent's gonna win this game. Never leave somebody... Never mercy leave somebody in the game. This is what can happen. Trying to break in here, but one Badger doesn't look like it's gonna be enough. Needs to be careful, it's about to die. Gonna have to back out for now. Hopefully that wolf doesn't get deleted. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. Yeah, man, I think Gentleman was just left unattended for so long. Tosh is gonna start dealing with that now, but this guy, just with whatever, dude, lizards this game have just been so annoying. Like, small amounts of lizards. This map is so large, like, Tosh can't go home and defend this. So these 2 lizards here, by this guy, are just gonna do so much damage. Meanwhile, Tosh is gonna push out. Tosh doesn't have any money anymore, though. I was gonna say, maybe he can just grab this gristmill and say, I don't even care if those Warrens go down, because I've got my big tier 3 units out already. But Tosh doesn't have the money. He's gonna starve. Is this guy gonna make it happen with the 6 arties? The gentleman wrecking the gristmills up top as Tosh moves in on the central gristmill. All of his juicy units are still alive, but Tosh is gonna be knocked out of the game. Let's see if he can get the gentleman first, though, is the question. He does! Tosh eliminates the Gents, and it looks like starving this guy is going to eliminate Big Pimpin' Tosh and take the crown. Man, that was insane. We've had some insane games tonight. Alright, we got a couple more here of user-submitted replays, and then we'll hop into the Pocketbot Cup Finals. I figured that would be fun to end the night with tonight. Don't forget, guys, we have the 2 tournaments coming up this weekend. Tomorrow at noon, I will be hosting the Leader Nomination Tournament number 1 here on ToothAndTailTV. That's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely sign up for that if you haven't. I think we got some pretty good turnout for that, but it's not too late to sign up still. I think we got like, what, 12 people in there? So, yeah, sign up, don't be shy, it's gonna be fun. We'll do that tomorrow, and then we're basically doing the same thing on Sunday to determine who the additional 2 faction leaders for the 21 Generals is gonna be. Let's hop into match number 6. And don't forget to sign up for the 21 Generals as well. That's going to be so much fun. You can sign up as a faction member or a mercenary. If you're kind of on the fence about participating, but you still want to be a part of it, sign up as a merc. You know, if you got to leave, you know, a few weeks in, it's not going to be crazy long. I think it's a 2-month tournament, if I recall correctly. Yeah, we're looking to try to wrap it up by the end of February, so but yeah, let's get into match number 6. We have got Protocam up top, and his opponent to the right. He's got no time for pooping. We'll just call him Time here, I guess, for short. I like Time's deck. It's a bit silly. Trying this Ferret Boar with defense style. I always like to see decks with Ferrets. Ferret's one of my personal favorite units. I feel like it's a little bit hard to utilize these days, so I like to see when people try to scratch their heads and figure it out. Time's also got this like cabin right here in front of his base, but Protocam being cheeky with the proxy moles. Did Time see it? I don't think he has just yet. Ooh, but very nicely did figure out that Protocam was up to something from that scout. Realized he should have had more farms than he did, and went ahead and threw down a Warren. So nice reaction there by Time. But what he was not thinking was proxy moles, and that one mole does come in, deals a lot of damage to the pig. Pig actually did get sold, so No Time got 18 bucks back for that, but ended up losing 42. Protocam lost 20, so a slight little victory there for Protocam. He's also getting back up to his 8 farms a little faster, so that always helps as well. And let's see it. Protocam's deck looks pretty cool, to be honest. I like the squirrel, lizard, mole. Like, I like the flexibility of that. You know, you can kind of get that dual composition any way you want to slice it, essentially, with the tier 1, excluding toads, of course. And that pigeon snake. Actually, pigeon snake badger makes a lot of sense to me, because the pigeons synergize nicely with the snakes. So you can use the snakes to be real annoying and sit there and poke with them and re-heal them up and tank damage. And of course, everybody knows how well the badgers do with the pigeons. And Protocam's not screwing around this game. He's getting super duper aggressive here, but I'm not convinced this is going to work. You know, Protocam doesn't know about the proxy moles per se, but Time doesn't know about it, but Time's just been building up tier 1. He hasn't been doing anything crazy or greedy, but these moles push in. That toad did connect nicely, but Protocam, oh, the one pig does stay alive. Oh, that feels so bad. He even tried to send in that additional mole to kill it. But yeah, that's a little rough for Protocam, I feel, because almost any other opening, Time would have just taken so much damage, right? If Time went for a quick tier 2, if Time tried to get a second base or something like that, that attack from Protocam would have worked. He did get away with the sneaky moles, and this is not looking good for Protocam either. Unfortunately, he's trying to transition into a bunch of lizards, and his opponent does have the toads. Some decent connections there, but just so many lizards. and Protocam does defend, but takes some pretty significant damage here, and he's going to have to tech switch out of this. Like, Pure Lizard is not going to work against Squirrel Toad. The only chance that he has is a base trade scenario. Yeah, he's starting to sell off some of these lizards. I actually like, in this position, though, like, I would love to see Protocam try to transition into, like, Squirrel Mole, maybe, but keep, like, 3 lizards to take the toad hits. You know, if you can trade, like, 3 lizards for 6 toads, it's always good. What's up, everybody in the chat? Good to see y'all. Hanging out on a Friday night, checking out some games of Tooth and Tail. We got time with the boar coming up. I think it'll work. I think he didn't need it. I think if Time would have continued on with more aggression here, he kind of dealt enough damage in that first attack, I think, to just kind of keep on keeping on. So by getting the tier 3, like, the boar is a good one to get. Don't get me wrong, because the boar is not like a tier 3 like a owl or a fox, you know, that's kind of got this weird roundabout strategy attached to it. The boar just wants to crush your face. So really, Time is just waiting for this boar to move in and not going to try to do anything fancy, just trying to run right in there with this flamethrower in the game. But Protocam looks like he's hip to this. I don't think he's actually hip to the boar. But what Protocam is trying to do here is just take so many bases and keep his lizards in a decent spot to base trade. I think he's giving up on a direct engagement and wants to just wait until Time's out of position and try to backstab him. Gonna move in and deny that base, but a lot of lizards there. Loss for Protocam was really costly for him. And I don't know, I'm really liking this for Time. Here's the boar. Oh, this is super smart. Super smart to leave those toads back. Tip of the hat to Time here. Is Time like a Smurf? Is this actually James or something? I feel like No Time for Pooping is a total troll Smurf name here. Pseudonym for a good Tooth and Tail player. Not somebody we've never heard of. And these toads at home, you know, Time knows what Protocam's trying to do with all these lizards. Oh, but he actually does rally the toads away. Gonna hit some of those lizards. But that was definitely a misclick by Time. He must have rallied all with his army. And those toads do get a nice pickup. Oh, is it gonna be enough though? Protocam, his lizards are very weak, but I think he's gonna barely have enough to get it done. Oh my god, it's so close, and Protocam takes the match. Oh man, that feels bad. Like, Time prepared for it so well too. Like, I was super impressed by leaving those toads at home, and then he just messed up with his micro a little bit. He hit that rally all button instead of rallying each unit group individually, which gave Protocam just the right little window to get in there and win the game with his lizards. Really cool match. Alright, let's get into the last viewer submitted replay. Don't forget, guys, I am trying to do this show once a week again for fun, and I can't do it without replays from the lovely viewers, so please submit replays to me at toothandtail@gmail.com, and that'll give me ammo to keep going. Yes, I do have the Pocketwatch Cup. I actually have enough like extra replays where I didn't need to pull from them, but I thought it might be fun to start showing off like the finals of the Pocketwatch Cup every week. I don't know. Just an idea. I'm gonna try it out tonight. See how we like it. So yeah, we've got match number 7 here. Spawning on the left, we've got Yoposaurus, aka Iris, and over to the right, Citizen Weasel. All right, Iris trying to make those turrets work. Let's see if it can happen here. Typically, the turrets are a bit weak against moles and chameleons, which are pretty big units in the meta, so we don't see them super often. Also, the snakes can do well against them, but we'll see. They could work out. I personally really like turrets. It can be difficult to make them work, though. A little bit map dependent. But, you know, maybe Iris could do something like take these 3 bases, throw up a couple turrets to defend them, and ramp up to just several owls, you know. Try to win the game that way. This isn't the Pocketwatch Cup yet. And I believe I did pull from the American Cups. I didn't check super diligently which one I pulled from, to be honest. Okay. Straight up turret off the bat. This is weird. Unless I missed something. Does Iris feel like he's gonna be attacked? Is he gonna go for a... See, a 1-base turret could make sense maybe if you had like a Fox or something. You know, a powerful tier 3 unit that you want to try to rush out. Iris must have got juked by Citizen somewhere along the line. Maybe he thought moles were coming. Maybe he thought a big attack was coming in. Yeah, something must have happened there where Iris was convinced that Citizen was moving in for the aggression. Snake's almost here, though, from Citizen Weasel. Let's see how much they decide to micro those bad boys. Snake number 1 is on the way. And is Citizen gonna try to go be annoying with it? So far, no. Just gonna wait. Maybe waiting on Snake number 2 here. And gonna go pretty crazy on economy. Going straight up to 3 farms on that second base. Let me check. I can probably check which Pocketwatch Cup it was. Brr, 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 brr. It was... Yeah, it looks like it was the American, because it was at 7 p.m. EST. Which would be the American time zone. Alright, Iris. Squirrel Mole. Let's go. Not screwing around. Did Iris scout the opponent building a bunch of tier 2? No, Iris really hasn't scouted much at all. Just gonna rail in here. And Citizen should be able to defend this. Maybe not. Maybe a bit too greedy. Yeah, it takes a little bit of damage, but I still kind of like Citizen's spot. You know, decided 3 farms is a bit too much. You know, sold down a little bit there, but, you know, Citizen Weasel's got the better economy now. He's got the more complicated army. You know, Iris really needed to deal crippling damage there because Iris doesn't have a second base, but he's got no farms on it. He's got no tier 2 units. And now Citizen Weasel's got this very strong snake-skunk combo here. And finally, Iris is going to try to get up to some falcons, but I just don't think he's got the time. If I'm Citizen Weasel, I'm definitely going to be getting aggressive here shortly. Yeah, especially scouting in, seeing your opponent's building some eco. Iris is going nuts. 8 falcons. That's just a ridiculous amount of falcons for this phase of the game. 8 falcons, not even 5 minutes in. I think Iris is messing around here. But Weasel's actually gonna throw down that tier 3 and wait. I think he missed a big opportunity he had here. Now that these falcons are actually coming out, yeah, exactly. Like, I think you gotta try. You gotta put on some pressure. But since you threw down that tier 3, Warren, you're kind of inclined to wait for it now, you know? So, Citizen decides not to attack in, and he gives Iris some breathing room here. However, this is going to... Citizen Weasel's trying the old homage when you're ahead, get more ahead, as he's getting an even more technical army, trying to get a better economy. But I still do think he had a nice window to just go in there and wreck Iris's face. So let's see. The wolf is almost on the board here. Third base on the way for Iris, and this is where things could get deadly. You know, if you give Iris too much time, yeah, you see what I mean with these graphs? Like, look at, like, right here, you know? But it's really easy. I don't want to be too critical on Citizen Weasel, because it's really easy to say that as the caster, you know, where we can see everything. But he did have a nice window to come in and try to end the game. But now he's got a very powerful army. Once this wolf hits the board, that buff is no joke. But it looks like he just wants to get even bigger armies here, so we're going into a macro game. Okay, or is he going to push? Okay, yeah, I think he just wanted to get a few buffs on the pigs there. Get a little bit of extra money. And now here comes the push. 6 falcons is a lot, though. And this wolf buff is nice. But those falcons really need to be targeted down. And with so many moles on the ground to help soak some damage, let's see how well that's going to be able to happen. Nice target fire here from Citizen Weasel. Yeah, actually just railing through that army. Jeez, that composition from Citizen Weasel is very nice. Dang, man. Look at that graph. That is insane. Alright. I was wrong to doubt the Weasel. Patiently waited for this just Gosu comp. Look at that. Look at that engagement. That is nuts. That is nuts. Jeez. What was that? Squirrel, pigeon, falcon, skunk, snake, wolf. Let's go. Pretty cool. Alright, we got a few more for you tonight. We might wrap up a little bit early on this stream. But don't forget, guys, we have 2 tournaments coming up this weekend for the leader nominations for the 21 Generals. Sign up for those. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sign up for 21 Generals if you haven't already. That's the next big event for Tooth and Tail. You can be a member of a faction, which is a little bit more in depth. It's kind of like a board game situation going on. We did a video last night, the gentleman and I, just kind of discussing the rules, kind of trying to break it down for everybody. It does make sense. It's actually a really cool concept. Really innovative. Like, I wonder if the gentleman's trying to get into, like, making board games or something, because it seems pretty cool. I mean, it's almost like a Risk-style board game in a way. You know, not saying Risk exactly, but you get what I mean. Kind of like a competitive faction territory style game. A little bit of like Romance of the Three Kingdoms wrapped in there, I feel like. But instead of rolling dice or something like that to determine who wins victories and such, it's games of Tooth and Tail. So that's really fun. I'm always really impressed by like all the different tournaments we have in TNT. It's very rarely just a solid like, hey, single elimination, best of 3, let's go. We do have the Pocketbot Cups for that if you're ever just hankering for something normal. But alright, let us take a look at the Pocketbot Cup finals from just a few days ago. And we'll call it a night. So let's take a look at match number 1 here. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Haru. And his opponent up top, Pixton. Now, I haven't seen a lot of Pixtons play lately, but I've heard from several people he's pretty good. So I'm interested in that. And Haru is definitely a solid player. One of the RUs. We got Haru, we've got Kalaru. I think there's a couple more of them I can't think of off the top of my head. Let's take a look at the comps here. Haru looking for something a bit more aggressive. Meanwhile, Pixton's got more of a mid-range deck. Again, got the ferrets. I'm curious. I wanna know. Show me some good ferret games. I gotta practice ferret more. We can make it happen. We can bring back the ferrets, boys. What's the problem with the ferret? I think the problem with ferret is it's not a good I think the problem I have with ferret, anyways, is that I always try to rush out a ferret. Maybe that's the wrong move, you know, because when we're super early game, and I've got like a handful of squirrels and some ferrets, and you've got like a handful of squirrels and like a snake or a chameleon, you know, that engagement is just going to go so much better for you most of the time. But depending on the map, you can really abuse the ferrets even in situations like that and take favorable trades. But maybe what we need to do as ferret players is kind of wait a little while longer, you know? Like build up to those mid-range armies, or those mid-game armies rather, off like 1 to 2 base economies. You got tons of units out, and then just start peppering in those ferrets and really put pressure on your opponent. Because the problem is, if you start getting under ferret siege, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. I typically find myself in the position that Pigston is in, where I want to do this ferret opening. I love this opening from Pigston. I wish it worked, but I just don't think it does. I don't mean to be negative, but like he went 8 farm into what, like 1 or 2 Warrens into tier 2 into Gristmill. Yeah, this is getting kind of greedy, but Haru's doing the same thing. Now, the difference here is a snake versus ferret, but it's not exactly the same anymore because Haru is being like as greedy as you possibly can be. You know, second base, half saturation, 2 tier 2 with just 1 tier 1 to protect it. You know, if Pigston went for an aggressive opening, this build from Haru would have just got railed. But, you know, it's not really fair to say that because Haru knows what he's doing. Haru came in and scouted, hey, you're building a tier 2, so you're not being like crazy fast aggressive. You're taking an expansion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to outgreed you. You know, I'm going to take a second base. I'm going to build more farms. You're going to take 1 tier 2. I'm going to get 2. And the snakes. The snakes just do so well against ferrets, I feel. You know, if a snake gets a tag on the ferret once, it's dead. Unless it's got pigeons to back it up. So, let's see. I mean, with the ferret, you really need to get some damage done in between matches. Now, this could be a good position here. This is a nice engagement for Pigston. Gonna come in and snag that 1 tier 2 unit, and it continues forward. He gets, oh my god, he gets Haru stuck in a corner, and all of his tier 2 are going down. The 1 snake lives. If he can get out of here with his ferrets, yeah, this is what I mean, though. They both got tagged with poison, but the snake did go down. The mole's gonna kill 1, but he keeps 1 ferret alive, so an amazing engagement there for Pigston. But I feel like that was really more about the angle than the cops there. You know, Haru just got completely surrounded, and Haru was very, very limited on his tier 1. And now this is looking really good for Pigston. The 1 ferret is applying pressure. Pigston doesn't have to hard commit here. Doesn't have to take an engagement where his units are kind of shooting the gristmill and stuff, but goes in for it. The toads get some okay hits. And the gristmill does go down, and Pigston is going to escape with his ferret. No, he's not. It gets that poison hit, so that should be the death of it. Alright, I think Pigston's played this like ferret opening really well. But this is where it's going to get rough, is Haru's coming in for the counterattack. And this is where it's going to start getting rough. This is where these skunks and snakes are just going to do so much damage in these big attacks. Nice mine, but the ferret shots don't quite get that snake. Ooh, these ferrets picking up more and more hits. 1 snake going down. Really, really nice ferret control here by Pigston. I am impressed. Haru gets some decent damage in with the snakes though and goes home. And Pigston's thinking about a counterattack. Pushing forward. Now, ideally, what he wants to do is just get some free hits in with this ferret before the fight even begins. Gets a free farm, yeah. And he's just gonna back up for now. A little bit of flying vision would be nice. High ground vision is very important. This mine is helping a little bit. Yeah, get some mine up here. It's definitely gonna help with vision and the retreat. Another big attack moving in. The Toads get some decent connects, trying to target down those skunks. One of them goes down, but those skunk gas just dealing so much damage to the army of Pigson. He's got almost nothing left. He's just got the ferrets. And they do eventually go down to the snakes here. And now Pigson is starving out. Really close match. Actually, I'm very impressed with Pigson's use of ferrets. But I think he got away with a little bit of a better opening than I feel like he should have, because how greedy Haru was being. I mean, Haru was just as greedy as humanly possible. And Pigson is going to eventually tap out once he realizes Haru is actually mining there. Alright, so that means Haru is up 1-0 in a best of 5. Let's hop into match number 2. Spawning in the bottom left, we've got Haru. And his opponent up top, Pigson. Both players changing it up this game. Haru rocking those ferrets. But got the chameleons to back him up. Alright, this is kind of cool, actually. I think Pigson's deck is pretty good. I think it's just a very tried and true style to play here. You know, he's got some strong units. He's got the snakes. He's got the owl and falcon to transition into later. But I might actually have to steal Haru's deck. I like this a lot. Because typically when I think about a ferret deck, I think about containing, I guess, or like poking my enemy to death as I'm getting more and more ahead. Like Haru's deck here is just such a bruiser deck, in my opinion. You know, Haru really wants to get in and just deal a ton of damage, and these mines should support the ferrets very nicely. Maybe that's something I haven't been trying with my ferret styles, is the mines. The mines actually make a lot of sense, because it makes sense on paper, like ferrets plus defense should work well, you know? But mines are probably even better at that role than turrets or balloons, because let's say your ferrets are up here, you know, trying to siege. Well, let's pretend there's a ramp over here. You know, you could throw your mines down, and then that's going to slow down your opponent as they're trying to chase those ferrets and let them get away. So really cool. I'm actually really curious to see how Haru plays this out. 8 farm into tier 1 into Gristmill into more tier 1 from Haru. 8 farm into tier 1 into tier 2 into Gristmill from Pigson. I feel like Haru's got a little bit of the safer opening. And here come the chameleons. Yeah, this touching back on, I don't want to make this like too much of a Dell trying to figure out how to make ferrets work in the in the current meta cast or anything like that, but this is what I was getting at earlier, where it's like maybe the problem is getting with those ferrets first, right? Like Haru's getting the chameleons. You know, he's going to put together a nice little tier 1 plus chameleon army, and then later on, yeah, you can pepper in the ferrets. I don't think I would have gone for ferrets this quickly. Yeah, Haru's just going super crazy on tier 2. He just likes to play tier 2 in general. Maybe seeing the snakes makes him decide to not go too crazy on the squirrels. It is pretty easy to get in and pick up free kills with the snakes on the squirrels. Yeah, I was thinking maybe what I might try with a deck similar to Haru's is like, you know, maybe 8 farm, 2 tier 2 into Gristmill, into 8 farm, 2 tier 1 into Expo, into a couple farms, into like 2 more tier 1, right, into Chameleon. Start putting on some pressure and then eventually pepper in those ferrets. Because if you can get ahead, right, and chameleons early is a nice way to get ahead. The thing about ferrets is that they are going to force your opponent to engage. If you're getting shelled down by ferrets, you just have to engage. And with having chameleons earlier on, maybe you can get that nice early advantage. I mean, look at these chameleons just slaughtering things. 4 chameleons, too. I was playing some games earlier, and yeah, my opponent got 4 chameleons against me at one point, and it was insane. I mean, 4 chameleons do so good. Now I'm starting to realize why Haru went for this Tier 2 opening, and maybe the reason he decided to rush out so many Tier 2 was that he saw Pixin going for such an eco opening. And look at this, like, Pixin just has to engage, otherwise the ferrets are gonna eventually kill him. And he's forced to take a fight that's bad for him, and Haru's just gonna get more and more ahead here. And now I think it's just too much damage. You know, Pixin was crossing his fingers and hoping maybe, just maybe, Haru will leave me alone for a minute and a half and I can get that owl out, but I don't think so, says Haru. Rails in a nice victory. Putting Haru up 2-0 here in the Pocketwatch Cup Finals. Let's hop into match number 3. Okay, in the bottom, we have Pixin, also changing it up again, and his opponent up top, we've got Haru. One thing I really do like about the modern meta of Tooth and Tail is there are so many deck comps you can go with. We've played in metas before where it was like, you know, these 7 or 8 units are good and everything else not so much. Right now, it feels like most units are viable, which is really cool. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, and as a community, we kind of have to accept that. Like, balance is never going to be perfect in any game, you know, not just Tooth and Tail, but I think where we're at is really good. I'm trying to think. I've even been using balloons. Like, I won some games today where balloons were doing well. We've seen artillery do well. I mean, we saw Big Pimpintosh win with artillery against this guy. So that's definitely saying something. Crazy openings here. It looks like Haru was the one who decides to get aggressive, which is smart because you're up 2 games in a best of 5. Dropping a map here is no big deal. Maybe you can sneak out an easy win on your opponent. But Pixin picked it up. He saw what was going on, but I'm really interested in why he took this gristmill over here. He doesn't have defense. I mean, Haru hasn't seen it, but right when he does, I just feel like it's going to go down. Yeah, the point I was trying to make earlier is it feels like, at least to me, like a lot of units are viable at the moment. And it's just really fun. Like, the last few times I've gotten on the ladder and played with some people, you know, we're both just, like, changing up our deck comps every game, you know. It's just a lot of fun. I really have a lot of fun changing deck comps over and over. It is kind of cool, too, to, like, figure out one composition and just really nail it in and get really, really good at it. I mean, that can work. This guy comes to mind, I feel like, with stuff like that. But just a variety we were seeing in modern Tooth and Tail is really cool. So I guess Pixin wanted this as a bit of a proxy base. But that definitely would have worked better if he had some kind of defense. Like, he does have mines, but I was thinking more like turrets or balloons or something. I'm gonna go ahead and clear off that cabin. Yeah, Pixin's built up a lot of tier 1, but what is his game plan here? What is the strat? Squirrel Mole is gonna beat Squirrel Lizard. Moles just do very good in these upfront engagements. As I say that, Pixin did win that fight, but he also did have the defender's advantage. Yeah, Pixen just straight up won that fight. Huh. Typically we see Squirrel Mole do better. Maybe it came down to how it was engaged into. Maybe I'm just wrong and have no idea what I'm talking about. It's always a possibility. And we are still in the throes of a very aggressive game. Is this going to work for Pigston? It's not looking bad, but again, I'm putting my money on the Squirrel Mole here. I feel like that other one just didn't have the right engagement. Yeah, that's about more what I'd expect. And actually, good job by Pigston there, too, trying to take his lizards around to the squirrels in the back. But, I mean, that was just straight up 9 squirrels, 9 moles versus 9 squirrels, 9 lizards. And in a very open fight. And that was more of the engagement I would expect. And that is so much damage coming out of Haru here. Pigson holding on for dear life. Gonna take it back to the main base here, but I think that is gonna be it. No more Warrens here for Pigson. Yeah, I thought he DC'd, but no, he's just standing there thinking about the loss. And GG to Haru. Congrats on winning the Pocketbot Cup. Everybody, that is going to do it for tonight. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Keep sending me replays to ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com, and I will continue doing shows every week. Don't forget, guys, we got a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. We've got a tournament on Saturday, which is you can catch live here on ToothAndTailTV. I'll be casting. I think I've got AV Ultima, a fantastic caster, to co-cast with me. So it's going to be super fun. And then on Sunday, we've got Woody Pun 7, who is going to be hosting the second tournament. You can sign up for those. It's still not too late. Look in the Tooth and Tail events section or in the Discord. You can still sign up for Gentleman's 21 Generals tournament. That's the hot thing on the block at the moment. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for everyone watching the VODs later on. Thanks, Awkward Fish Guy. Good to see you again, man. I'm glad you had fun. I saw you hanging out all stream. I appreciate it. And that is it, everybody. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their night. I was going to say weekend, but I'm going to bug you again tomorrow. I will be back here tomorrow at noon to bring you guys a tournament. So until then, have a good night, and I will see y'all next time.